The yogic understanding that that place in terms of Kundalini activity is a seat of the internal fire. So that yogic understanding, the fire of Bhairava at the base, the electric force of Kali at the heart, and the lunar quality of the somic, let's say what represents by the moon, is at the crown of the head. I've been practicing and facilitating Kundalini for over a year and a half. Over time, everything has intensified. What began as an occasional crying has become a tsunami of grief. It feels like losing everything: love, security, control, revealing there was never stable ground to begin with. I've also experienced a dark night of the soul, where everything felt meaningless, like wandering through a desert. The intensity escalated after a specific event, a warm energy very slowly rising from the base of my spine. It moved up my back, through my neck, and filled my head with immense pleasure. I've searched for similar experiences, but most describe awakening as an electrical surge, while mine was deeply slow. Question: if this wasn't a Kundalini awakening, was it something that can also happen on this path? And I wondered if you could shed any light on what may have taken place and if it has any significance. So in the first sentence of the background, I have been practicing and facilitating Kundalini for over a year and a half. I presume by facilitating Kundalini, you speak with regard to yourself, to your own practicing, not that you are facilitating it for others. Just want to clarify that. And if the answer is yes, then the way we experience the movement of prana in the body and the way we experience Kundalini unfoldment can be experienced differently. For some people, it will be definitively carried through that more of a fiery nature, literally fiery, a lot of heat, fire. For someone else, it may have more of that electric quality. Literally, electricity will be that driven force, and even experienced as such. So, in the earlier phases, that's where it most likely and most commonly how it would express itself. Kundalini, after all, unfolds, and even classically speaking, rises from the place associated with the root chakra, the base chakra, which is an expression of the earth element. And the earth element here is not just the earth in terms of earth in the elemental order as a crust, but the magma. So therefore, yogically speaking, even though Muladhara, or the base of the spine, is associated as an expression of the, associated with earth element as its expression, in fact, it's an expression of the sense of smell, gandha. The yogic understanding that that place, in terms of Kundalini activity, is a seat of the internal fire. So that yogic understanding, the fire of Bhairava at the base, the electric force of Kali at the heart, and the lunar quality of the somic, let's say what represents by the moon, is at the crown of the head. And in the heart, sometimes it referred as the, let's say, the sun. But it has this, so fire, sun, moon. So the early phases of Kundalini, ensuing phases, are in most cases are accompanied by either fiery or more electric like experiences, unless there is a less desirable diversion taking place, and Kundalini traverses in one of the subsidiary channels. When it traverses through one of the subsidiary channels, if it will somehow go through the channels that are associated with the lunar functioning, then that would be accompanied by coolness, coldness, very different experiences. But if it's not, all, classically speaking, early phases are accompanied by what would then be described as I have just did now. With that being said, the experience itself, what you have marked here as the intensity escalated after a specific event, a warm energy very slowly rising from the base of my spine, it moved up my back, through my neck, and filled my head with immense pleasure. Yes, that's exactly how it is experienced. It doesn't have to be fast, it doesn't have to be instant. It can be a very slow, very beautiful, very pleasant experience. It can be experienced as a warm liquid, fluid. It can be experienced accompanied by internal visions of like that column of light, accompanied by sensing into the color, gold color, like the ghee, that clarified butter. Scripturally speaking, that's how it is often referred to, that the yogi experiences the rising through the medium channel when Kundalini enters as the molten ghee, as the molten gold of that precious substance rising, that glowing warmth bringing. So, yes, it doesn't have to be as someone else or somewhere you have read it, somewhere that it has this electrical surge. Okay?